I'm worried for Max. As a Holloway fan, it feels like we are approaching doomsday. I mean, let's be honest. Life is too cruel to give us a Max Holloway win. This is one of those fights. And I'm a Holloway fan. I'm a Topuria fan. First off, I want to just say this. The UFC, thank you for putting this together. Okay? This face-to-face, I know there's some people that are saying, dude, come on, do it in person. No, listen. In person would be perfect. We still need to work towards that, but this is good for me, okay? The fact that they gave us a face-to-face with Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria is awesome. All right, so the UFC, I'm really happy that they did this. It's gone viral, and we still have a week and a half before the fight, or 2 weeks, so it's going to continue to go viral. There's going to be lots of edits made of this, and the fight's going to be bigger than ever. And because of this interview, there's now more heat on this matchup. You know, Holloway, I'm sure he thought of Ilia as a Mr. Clown guy. Now he's actually pissed. Now he's actually upset. We kind of saw him get out of his, usual character. Not that Max plays a character, but he seemed a bit uncomfortable in this interview. But back to the main point that I want to make. This is one of those fights where the MMA gods are just never good to us in these circumstances. It's always Ilia Topuria KOs Volk. It's always Islam Makhachev KOs Volk. And even when Volk does really well, he still gets beat by decision. We never get these victories. We never get these ones. We never get a Charles Oliveira beating an Islam Makhachev. And I like Ilia Topuria. I like Islam Makhachev. But it's just like the guys like Max and Charles and Volk, when they get to that opponent like a Ilia Topuria or an Islam Makhachev, they never win. They never win. The good guys in these situations never, ever win. And what I mean is like the proven vet beating the up-and-coming, overly cocky hype train. Like Charles Oliveira beating Islam Makhachev when Makhachev was shit-talking in the build-up. Look at what happens. Makhachev wins. Happens all the time. Volk, man, like 100,000-0 at the time. Just defended his belt 50 times, basically. And he's got to fight Islam Makhachev. He's being forced to fight him. He wasn't forced to fight him, but like Volk versus Makhachev won. Right? Fair enough, it's in Volk's backyard, but it's like, dude, Makhachev shit-talking him, and Volk is the pound-for-pound number one. He's an absolute monster, but Makhachev, these guys not very good, but Makhachev's out here saying Volk's not very good.
Islam wouldn't stand, though. He can stand, no problem. Hey, you talk like you knock out your own opponent. Man, that's all right. That's all right. Islam don't have to smile. Islam, you got a smile on your face the whole time. I don't understand why you're smiling. I mean,
he's over. He's a short guy. I'm gonna knock him out. And you just want Volk to humble him, man. And look at what happens. Even on Volk's best night, he still loses. Darren Till. Back in the day, I made a video about this back in the day. Darren Till versus Dricus du Plessis. I said life's too cruel. The MMA gods are too cold to allow Darren Till to have a big comeback victory. He's going to lose. He's going to lose. And this is exactly the case with Ilia Topuria and Max Holloway. Ilia Topuria is cocky. He's, a big shit talker, and he's really entertaining. Okay? And his fight style is great. He's excellent for the sport. If he wins, I'm happy that we have a fucking megastar. And I like Ilia Topuria, but I want Max to beat his ass. I want Max to go in there and beat the shit out of Ilia Topuria for 5 rounds and then knock him out. But he's not gonna, man. And it's not because of this interview. It's just that this interview kind of just confirms the ice-cold nature of the MMA gods. Like, Max Holloway is on a conveyor belt that leads to a knockout loss against Ilia Topuria. Or just a 50-45, Volk Max 3 trilogy style of beating where Ilia Topuria lands monster punches, overhands, uppercuts, and they're just so damaging, and Max Holloway wears the damage because he has a lot of scar tissue, and Ilia Topuria wins a dominant decision. Holloway's not winning. And we're not even here to talk about the X's and O's. I mean, listen, I can break that down, but, I can break it down with the best of them. We could talk about the X's and O's another time. But my point is, you guys know just as I do, and I'm not even, people that are picking Ilia Topuria, they're right. But Holloway fans, a lot of you guys that think Holloway is going to win, you know that you're bullshitting. Okay? You guys know deep down that it's not true. Okay? Some of you actually might think Max wins, and fair enough. There might be some really smart people that can see things differently. All right? There might be some guys that are doing the X's and O's and dotting the I's. There might be some guys that know something that we don't. All right? But most Max Holloway fans, all right, and when I say I'm a Holloway fan, I mean, like, I want Holloway to win this fight. I really want Holloway to win this fight. I want Holloway to go in there. I want to see him beat up Ilia Topuria, okay? Start to clown him in the cage, shit talk him in the cage, yell at him. When he gets hit, you know, like he said in the interview, he's going to say,
yell me, send some more. I keep telling you in there, yell me, send more.
Keep him coming, keep him coming. I want to see Max Holloway, red-faced, with a hose in his neck, screaming in Ilia Topuria's face after he knocks him out. I want to see Holloway get angry in the cage, and as the rounds progress, Max Holloway gets angrier, and he lands 10 more strikes every single round. I want Holloway to win this, 50-42. 5th round KO, fuck that. Whatever it takes, bro. Please win this fight. I want Holloway to win. I like Ilia Topuria. He's great for the sport. He's hilarious. His trash talking is great. His style is very fun. He's the perfect fighter that we need in the UFC right now. Someone that actually knocks people out and tells people, his opponents, to their faces that he's going to knock them out. You know, people think trash talk. People are saying Ilia's not saying anything special. He's an overrated trash talker. It's like, you don't have to have like a mastermind in order to trash talk. You just have to be super confident. Ilia's obviously super confident. He's arrogant. And he just tells people he's going to knock them out. And Holloway, he's one of these, like, you know, millennials. He's like saying, you're a fan of me. He thinks calling someone a fan of him is like the biggest diss. He's a fanboy, you know, like Ilia Topuria doesn't care about that. That's not going to get under Ilia's skin, but Ilia's under Max's skin, and that's the issue. He's under his skin. Holloway struggles with shorter opponents, and Holloway's got 7 L's, guys. He's one of the GOATs. If he wins this fight, he's top 5 all time. He's already number 6 on my list. He's already number 6 on the all-time list, in my opinion. Maybe he's like neck and neck with Islam Makhachev, but listen, Max Holloway, if he wins this fight, he's a top 5 fighter all time, no doubt. Getting close to GOAT status at that point. But he has 7 losses. It's just like a guy with 7 losses, like Max Holloway, the good guy, the nice guy, he's going to get destroyed. I'm sorry. He's going to get destroyed, and all of the Holloway fans are going to be pissed. And what I'm saying right now is, like, prepare yourself, because this is what I had to do in the Volk fight. Ilia Topuria is going to beat up your favorite fighters. And when I say those favorite fighters, I'm talking about Holloway and Volk specifically. Those are our favorite fighters in the featherweight division, and Ilia Topuria is going to beat them up. So, listen, man, we're just going to have to deal with it. That's basically how it is. We're just going to have to deal with it. When Ilia Topuria and Volkanovski were booked to fight, this was after the Volk KO loss. I just knew Volk was done. I knew he was toast. I knew he was cooked. And I just prepared myself. I said, yeah, he's going to knock out Volk. You know, I want Volk to win. Volkanovski's my favorite fighter, but it's just not going to happen. Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. Dude, I thought Charles was going to destroy him. But for real, deep down inside, I kind of knew something bad was going to happen. I kind of knew that the MMA gods were too cruel to allow that to happen. All right? But maybe not. I don't know. It just, you know, every fucking time we need one of these big victories. Like Holloway, we need him to KO this guy and put him in his place. At the end, like, listen, I love the fact that Ilia Topuria is talking shit. It's great. It's good for MMA. It's entertaining. If he KOs Max, it makes him 10 times bigger. But if Max KOs Ilia, the fact that Ilia's trash talking makes it 10 times bigger too. So because Ilia is doing such a good job and being so entertaining, it makes me want Max to win even more. And it would make Volkanovski's resume look better because he beat Max 3 times. So there's that as well. That's not the only reason. But, you know, I want Holloway to win. I just, you know, listen, I don't know what it is. Sometimes Holloway's like the perfect guy to sun someone that's coming up. Because we saw it with the Kattar fight. We saw it with the Ortega fight. Those were 2 instances where Ortega and Kattar were up-and-comers. even though Kattar's older than Max, but, Max has been around since, like, the 90s, basically. But you get my point. Holloway's, like, the perfect guy to sun the up-and-comer. Like Kattar, Brian Ortega. Ortega was not really talking a lot of shit, but Holloway was kind of pissed off that people were picking Ortega to beat him, and he went off at the press conference, and he seemed pissed. He seemed like he didn't like Ortega, even though Ortega was being buddy-buddy with him and saying, hey, man, you good, man? Because Max in the build-up to that fight, he was struggling with his weight cuts and slurring his words and stuff, and Ortega was, like, checking on him, and Max didn't like that. And he went after Kattar after Kattar said that he was going to treat Holloway like a freshman. Holloway's going to have a chip on his shoulder this time. He's going to want to prove Ilia wrong, but he's just going to lose. Again, I'm not really providing any great reasons. I will when I do my breakdown, but he's going to lose. We have to accept that Holloway is going to lose. I want him to win this fight. I want him to KO Ilia Topuria or just beat him up. But Ilia is either going to go out there and just damage Holloway for 5 rounds, out-damage him, and win a dominant decision, or knock him out. And I know that people are going to say, no, he's not going to KO him, man. No, he might. He might KO him. Max has never fought anyone with the pop like Ilia Topuria at 145. Fair enough, he fought Dustin Poirier. It was at 155. He has a better chin at 155. You cut less weight, your chin is going to be better. Against Gaethje, another powerful hitter, he got dropped. First time Max Holloway was ever dropped. His last fight against Justin Gaethje, and that's Justin Gaethje. He's upright, swings like Rufus. Ilia Topuria is a shorter man. He's got the stockiness, and it's just a bad matchup for Max, man. Because Max Holloway, he throws these little head kicks, and they're not fast. And you see Ilia Topuria just posted a vlog where he's sparring with someone, and he's got someone to mimic Max Holloway's movements, and he's literally, this guy that he's sparring is throwing head kicks slow to mimic Max. Max Holloway, he's not Yair. He's not going to whip a head kick up there at 150 miles per hour and catch Ilia Topuria on the side of his dome and just knock him out. It's not going to happen. It's not Max. Max is a guy that's going to have to land an uppercut. Max is a guy that's going to have to land a crispy right hand, rock him, and then TKO him up against the fence. Max is a guy that's going to have to land a couple of fruity pebble punches here, because, he's not got any pop. We all know Holloway's got pillow hands. No, I'm joking. He's not got pillow hands. When Holloway sits down on a strike, he's got ridiculous power. But you get my point. If Holloway's not landing that right hand, if he's not landing that uppercut, he's probably not stinging Ilia Topuria. All right, he's not going to do it with a head kick, probably not with a knee. We'll see about that spinning back kick. I don't know. Maybe if he starts to dominate, but let's be honest. Holloway's going to have to really do what he does best, which is outland people. Body shots, leg kicks, mixing targets, and it's tough to do that on a short, stocky guy like Ilia that's sort of crouched over, and, Ilia Topuria is going to have been shit-talking all week, and Holloway's going to feel the need to just, here's another thing to think about. When people fight Ilia Topuria, this is a guy that's been telling his opponents throughout the build-up like he's just going to knock them out brutally. He was nice to Emmett, but Volk, Max, they have to go through a whole training camp thinking about Ilia Topuria saying he's going to knock them out brutally. In Max's case, he's the first guy that's ever going to be able to KO Max. In Volk's case, he's 100% going to KO Volk first round. And I worry that when they get in the cage, it's like their whole game plan is going to revolve around just not getting put on a highlight reel, just not getting KO'd. As long as Ilia Topuria is not correct insofar as him KOing me, that's at least a good start. And I'm not saying Volkanovski fought not to get KO'd, and therefore he was a little bit tentative and all that. But it could be something that's in his mindset, when he's going into that fight. Same thing with Max. It could be in Max's mind, let me just not get KO'd. It's like, dude, I can't let this guy knock me out and be the first one to knock me out. You would think that Holloway, a veteran, 26 wins, 7 losses, is going to be able to control himself a little bit. But hey, he's still going to get those fight jitters. And Ilia Topuria is going to put him on the back foot. He's not fearing the power of Max. He's just going to beat him. I'm sorry. I want Max Holloway to win. He's not going to win, and it's going to suck. Ilia Topuria, there's a good chance he goes out there and flatlines Max Holloway, brutally KOs him. And I know that people are going to say, dude, he just KO'd Volk with a lucky punch. Man, Volk was a shadow of his former self. No, he was not a shadow of his former self. Volkanovski got KO'd because he got caught with an absolute behemoth of a punch. He got caught with one of the gnarliest right hooks I've ever seen in my entire life. That is putting out everyone in the division. Okay? He got caught because Volkanovski has shitty defense in his boxing. It's not that great. And Ilia Topuria took advantage of it. That's why he got caught. If you watch that Volk fight, Volk was fast. He looked fast to me. Looked very fast. Didn't look slow. I worried a little bit that since he hurt his arm and got surgery after the Yair fight, that maybe he was going to look a little bit slow against Makhachev, and we didn't really see him throw punches against Makhachev in the rematch. He got knocked out early. That's not why Volk got KO'd. Volk got KO'd because he got hit with the perfect punch. Go watch that KO back. Watch that right hand that Ilia Topuria lands and tell me that he's only knocking out people with a weak chin. Like, that's just total bullshit. Ilia Topuria lands that right hand on Max Holloway, the same type of right hand he landed on Volk, which is going to be tough to land on Max, but Max is hittable. If he lands that shit on Max Holloway, when Holloway's in the pocket trading with him, he could flatline him. I hope he doesn't. I hope Max eats it like a Tic Tac and knocks him out, but I don't think it's going to happen, man. I think the MMA gods are too cruel to give us a Max Holloway victory here. And, what I would like to see is a really good chess match. I don't want to see a dominant performance unless it's from Max. I really don't want to see Topuria dominate Max. That would just suck to see. Again, it's like, I like Ilia Topuria. I'm a fan of Ilia Topuria, but Holloway's an OG. I've been a fan of him for a longer amount of time, and I just want him to win. I always find myself rooting for Holloway no matter who he fights, as long as it's not Volk. Because if you fight in Volk, he's probably losing that, but I'm rooting for Volk. But it's going to be rough, man. It's going to be rough. You're going to be depressed. I'm going to be depressed. And it is what it is. You got to prepare yourself mentally for Max to lose in that fashion, because it's very possible. And I just fear that the delusional Max Holloway fanboys, when I say delusional, I'm talking about the people that think like, Max is going to destroy him. Ilia sucks. He landed a lucky punch. People that think Ilia is just lucky and he couldn't finish a 40-year-old Josh Emmett or whatever, like, they're the ones that are going to be hit hardest by this, okay? They're the ones that are going to be hit hardest by this reality check. And I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it one bit. Not at all. I want Ilia Topuria to get humbled by Max. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't, it is what it is, because, then he's a big star. I just want him to be humbled by Max. I don't want Ilia Topuria to be humbled. Let me just say that. I don't want him to be humbled in general. I like the fact that Ilia Topuria is cocky, he's arrogant, he shit talks, he believes in himself. I just want Max to beat him and humble him in the cage. And then as soon as Ilia exits the cage and he's fine again, let's hope he gets that confidence back, which I don't know if that's even possible after getting KO'd. But, as I make this video, I kind of want Ilia to win now. The more I talk about it, it's like if Ilia loses, then we miss out on a potential undefeated GOAT that's knocking out Holloway, Volk back to back. That is the first guy to ever KO Max Holloway. He's got like the nastiest power in lighter weight class division history, and he's also a great trash talker. He has superstar potential. We're also kind of missing out on that. If Holloway beats Topuria, that's going to be massive, but I just think Topuria's got a longer career ahead of him. Whereas if Holloway beats Topuria, what's next? What's he going to do next? Fight Dustin again? Fight Volk again? It's like there's not many new fresh matchups. Once he beats Ilia, he's kind of completed the game at that point. He's basically completed the game. Done every side quest that there is. What's he going to do? Fight Gagey again? Rematches at 155? Quadrilogy with Volk? What's he going to do? Move down to 135? For that reason, I kind of want Topuria to win. Because Topuria wins, there's a lot of good matchups. It's like, I guess maybe Diego Lopez, some of the up-and-comers. But, I'm hyped to see Topuria versus Diego Lopez, not Diego Lopez versus Max. So, I don't know. To be honest, either guy wins, it's great. But I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know that Holloway's not going to win. I'm sorry. It's a cold world. He's not going to win this. And it sucks. Like, I know this is supposed to be one of the most competitive fights ever. I don't think it's going to be very competitive. I think Topuria is going to dominate him, unfortunately. But, if Max wins, that'll be great. It's one of those things where it's like, on the night of the fight, I want Max to win more. But in the long run, Topuria winning is better for the sport. Either way, I'm looking forward to the fight. Topuria and Max Holloway. I'll do like a more in-depth breakdown of why I think Topuria is going to win, but I just wanted to get on here to tell you guys how I was feeling about the fight. I'm a little bit worried for Max Holloway. I'm not worried at all for Topuria. That's how you know things are not going to go great for Max in that cage. Because it's like, I'm not at all worried for Ilia Topuria. At all. And that's not even just because I'm rooting for Max. Like, I'm just worried for Max because I know he's going to lose. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time.